Life is short. Break the rules. This quote from James Dean encompasses my time at Nebraska Wesleyan in that, once you know the rules, you can know how they can be broken to further yourself as an artist. Today, I would like to share with you 3 significant events from my time at Wesleyan that have given me the drive I need going forward in life. And these events have helped to build my resume as well as my confidence as a performer. And I'm credible to tell you these things because I've lived through them. Today, I would like to talk about the 3 shows I was in my junior year: The Drowsy Chaperone, Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, and Nell Gwyn. And I would like to start at the beginning, as I've heard that's a very good place to start. Junior year gave me 3 opportunities that stretched me in ways I wasn't expecting in terms of stage comfort, vulnerability, and versatility. The first of these was playing Man in Chair in Drowsy Chaperone. The obstacle in getting the role right was memorizing the lines, but then forgetting the lines and letting everything go. While the cast was in music rehearsals, I memorized the lines, physicalizing them in my body. When the show was being put together, I was able to fit seamlessly into the story of the show within a show that the characters were telling. Since I was there from the beginning, I was able to have my thumb on everything that was going on. And I'd like to think that Julie had this by design, as Man in Chair knows the records backwards and forwards. 3 things I gained from this experience are an appreciation for musical theater, comedic timing, and ensemble storytelling. I had always loved musical theater, but the goofiness of musicals always kind of evaded me. Something as self-aware as Drowsy Chaperone helped me to see that all shows are made with love and care. And I thought I knew comedy, but when given a script with joke after joke and trying to balance it with truth and heart, proved to be very difficult. Many jokes hit home, while others did not, and I could even feel this up until the last performance. But true comedy comes in making what you're saying as truthful as possible, and the audience reacting to the absurdity of it. Drowsy is odd in the way that it's set up. It could very well be presented as a star vehicle for Man in Chair or Janet or The Chaperone, but it's this separation of time and place of the characters that make the storytelling even more important. Drowsy gave me a good step into junior year, practically forcing me to keep my grades up from the get-go. And it showed me that each show is crafted with something special, and that knowing everything backwards and forwards is important to making any show run efficiently. Through Drowsy, I had a breakthrough. I was able to be myself on stage, and this upped the ante in terms of vulnerability, something Jimmy Dean would continue to push on me. The second show of junior year was Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, where I played Joe. While not a big role in comparison to the others in the show, Joe plays a pivotal part in the drama by explaining why things are the way they are in the present. Jimmy Dean was also the first time I didn't have any comedic material, which really brought me out of my shell. I yearned for versatility before my time at Wesleyan was up, and this show stretched me in fantastic ways, such as subtlety, getting into character, and getting out of character. One of the tough aspects of Joe's character are that he's very unhappy with himself, but he can't show this. Having it come across in a subtle yet engaging way was tough, but I ultimately decided on having his anger and confusion come through in his conversations with Mona, and only Mona, since she was the linchpin making him unhappy. I set up a special playlist specifically for Joe that got progressively darker as it went on. I played it in the same order every night. Further, it helped that I had a dressing room to myself, as I was able to isolate myself from the women in the cast, as Joe's internal isolation eventually turns into an external feeling. But with the heavier material, it was harder not to keep drawing upon the show when not in rehearsal, so I had to set up a de-characterizing ritual where I would just wash my face, shake myself out, and do a drop down for 30 seconds. Along with shedding the costume, that worked quite well. I'll go on to do the same thing with Gloria. Jimmy Dean helped with giving projects a more personal edge, where I could draw upon personal experiences to enhance reality. It also helped in giving me the tools to widen my performance abilities. I was given the opportunity to use words to engage people with something other than laughter. I feel the comedy/drama tightrope would play greatly into my career. But everything I had learned up to this point would aid me into the behemoth of a show that was Nell Gwyn. Everyone in the cast and crew was required not only to learn their lines and blocking, but three dances and 4 songs. I had sang and danced in Drowsy and sang in Peter and the Starcatcher, but the mix of the 3 was not as balanced as it was in Nell Gwyn. Throughout the process, I became increasingly more aware of how often plays with music are now being produced. It's a growing art form and subgenre of theatrical production, so possessing knowledge in singing, dancing, and acting is more important than ever. And 3 things I gained from the Nell Gwyn experience were versatility, period acting, and it's not the size of the part that matters. One of my regrets is not taking more dance-related classes or not attending more dance calls. Not only is acting range important, but skill sets are as well. Actors need to be stage managers who need to know how to run lights and sound. And the believability of any show not set in the modern day is the commitment to the style of that particular era of a show. While Nell used many anachronisms, it was set in the Restoration, and the ensemble needed to act appropriately, with corsets, 4th position, and bowing. And I did not view Drowsy to Nell as a step backwards, but one of importance, because it truly doesn't matter the number of lines you have, but the impact you have through your interactions on stage. A memorable side character can be just as impactful as a main character. My appreciation for dramaturgy was upped in this show, as there was a mountain of historical context going into it with not only the people, but the politics, costumes, and etiquette. It's crucial for performers to have all kinds of skills in order to be an asset to a theater troupe, and I like to think I've ended my time at Wesleyan with plenty of skills that will help with employment. Today, my purpose was to share with you 3 significant events from my time at Wesleyan that have given me the drive I need going forward in life. And these events were the Drowsy Chaperone, Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, and Nell Gwyn. I'm equipped with the beginnings of what I need to go out and get work. I have the confidence of playing several different characters and possessing knowledge in costumes, makeup, and sound, and I'm still growing. Upon first stepping foot into the theater building, I was still unsure as to whether or not I wanted to pursue the arts as a viable career path, and at my parents' urging, I also scooped up an English degree with an emphasis in creative writing. Both areas of study have provided challenges, sources of information, and creative outlets. At the time of my senior year, I'm more than certain I have made the right decision in choosing what I did.